Good morning. This is Frank with Franken Fruits. Today we're going to shop for an avocado tree. I came to this place. They have a few in 15 gallons and they all look pretty lush and green and healthy. So we're gonna have to choose our avocado here based on these criteria. Look at this tree that I have in front of me. I want to go to the base. I'm going to inspect the graft right there. It seems like the graft is not doing very well, and the trunk, it seems to be burned. So obviously this would not be my choice. Then I'm looking at this one. It looks pretty nice, green, tall. So let's start by the graft union. So the graft looks pretty good. Looks like the graft was a side graft over here, and here the growth from the rootstock, maybe they cut it out, and this is the graft branch. It is very healthy. Okay. It's very green. It doesn't have any burning or anything like that. But this thing is just tall and slim. And it's just gonna keep on growing tall. I don't like a tree that just grows tall. I kinda like a tree that grows a little bit compact and wide. It seems like the wider compact canopy produces more. It hides the fruit better, and it also self-protects from the burning of the sun in summertime. So let's keep on looking. Here's one that from the distance looks pretty nice. It's pretty lush, it's tall. It's gotta be about 7.5 to 8 feet tall. So let's get up close and see how it looks. First, I'm going to go to the graft area. And the graft is right there. Seems to be okay. Then we have multiple branches coming out of the base of the tree. More likely we're going to have to cut most of them because they're just the skirt of the tree. I don't need to be there robbing of all the nutrients. I'm just going to have to grow here probably 1 branch, 2 and 3 branches, and try to turn it into a wider canopy. So let me look up the tree. I'm just focusing right now on the stem, on the main branch or the main trunk, which is the lifeline of your tree. Here, this tree has been badly burned in this area. And not only that, but then you have the trunk making a little turn like this, and it is pretty burned. That is going to disqualify it. And also I see it just growing tall and tall, and it's a little late to do any modifications to the tree to create a compact, wider canopy. So let's keep on looking. How about this tree? This tree is about 6 foot tall from the ground, and it looks pretty good. It looks a little bit wide, has a nice style canopy. So look at the graft. The graft is right here. It seems like it was a wedge graft. It's pretty healed very nicely. And then you have the main trunk, and we have an early split in here. As we go up, we have another split. This is more like a V-shaped split. I like that. That's going to allow us to have one low branch over here, and then we have a split, and the split is going to allow us to grow a wider canopy. So the first side of the split grows this way. It's about maybe 1.5 to 2 feet, and then from there it branches out. The other side of the split keeps on growing, and here it splits again, which is really nice. I like that. And then it keeps on growing. At about here, which is 6 foot tall, I'm just gonna let it grow. And that seems to be a really nice tree. It doesn't have a tag, so I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to trust the guys selling it over here. More likely they're going to say, oh, you know, this is a hass or this is a reed. They're just going to throw a name out there, and then you're going to invest the time, couple of years, for it to grow and produce fruit, and then you'll find out that it's not what you really wanted. So very important to find the original tag of your tree. That way you are very close to being guaranteed that you're going to grow the fruit that you're looking for. Because sometimes even the growers make mistakes and they mix up the tags. I've seen many cases where people buy hass or buy reeds and they got something else growing, you know. In some cases it turns out to be a good avocado. In some cases it turned out to be a not very good avocado. So I would buy these if it would have the tag. So that's pretty much it. I mean, we looked at trees that have a not very nice graft joint. We've seen trees that have been burned. We've seen trees that are healthy but are way too tall and slim. And we've seen this last tree, which is pretty compact at this point, like I said, about 6 feet from the ground. It has some nice side branching, and you can very much picture this tree into the future growing like a cup, you know, like a wine glass. Has a main trunk on the bottom, splits, and it starts creating a wider, more compact canopy. At one point we will have to tip it. These two little branches here on top, they're going to want to go up and up and up and up. So probably by the time it reaches another foot or so, we're just gonna tip him. Tip him meaning we're just gonna pinch the end of the branch, and that's gonna stop it from growing longer, but it's gonna start shooting new growth to the sides, and that's what we want, just a wider, denser canopy. When a canopy also gets dense, the tree protects itself from the sun and it keeps it from getting burned. When you have a long, slim tree, it doesn't have much canopy to protect itself from the burning sun, and you end up damaging your tree, and eventually will die or will survive with disabilities. So it won't be a good producer. It will not be a healthy tree. So yeah, this is Frank with Frankenfruits. I hope this video helped you in your search for your avocado tree. So thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.